You guys ready? Let's do this. Draft Labs ADAM Tournament Series Season 3, Week 1, Match 1. On blue side, Serpentis Esports with Call Me Herm, Dr. Phil, Callie, and Project. On red side, Bions, Bandicoot, X-Redeemer, and Killer Soldier. That makes up Hail Hydra, ladies and gentlemen. These two teams are interesting because Serpentis, they're new to this. They're new to the series. They're new to the tournament series. They've been playing a lot of Rift with us. They are very much like PNG, a Summoner's Rift squad. They are a Summoner's Rift community, but now they're branching to play with us. Sorry, that thing went out. They're branching off to come play with us, and they're new here. Whereas Hail Hydra have a lot of players that have been around for a really long time. Bion's been making a big appearance here recently. First with Wolf Academy, now he's created his own roster in Hail Hydra. Bandicoot 007, our very first ever Style Labs community moderator. X-Redeemer, the bare bones based god, and Killer Soldier 92. I believe Bion's just recruited Killer Soldier for his own, with his own intentions, if you will. So this is an interesting matchup, basically experience versus individual skill, because Serpentis Esports have a lot of high MMR players. Now, if you are looking at the center of your screen and asking, what the heck is that chart? That is our Style Stats Team Composition Strength Calculator. If you need more info, you can see the command right above it. Feel free to type that one in the chat. But if you see it once and read it, don't type it again, you guys, because I'm not sure if there's a limit or not. I'm new to this whole Moobot thing. We have a couple of lock-ins so far. It's going to be a Ziggs for Call Me Herm. Bion's taking a Jace. I'm just filling out the charts right now, you guys. A Jace for Bion's. Bandy dropping the Darius here, you guys. Darius, as of for quite some time, Darius has been the single absolute lowest ranked champion on our champion tier list, you guys. But recently, after his changes as a Juggernaut, things have really turned around for him, and I haven't redone his chart yet because I really don't know how to. I just basically increase all of his traits to 10 out of 10, I guess. But hopefully Bandicoot's going to be able to bring the heat here on this Darius, man, because he has been carrying a lot of games. Anyway, we have a Azir for Dr. Phil, a Malphite for Callie, now X-Redeemer dropping the Vel'Koz, Killer Soldier 92 on Leona, and Project now hovering over his pick. I'm going to lock in these charts right after that one goes down. Jinx is the final lock-in for Serpentis Esports. That finalizes our charts, you guys. And as you can see, two shapes have been produced, one for each team, and these shapes are going to help us compare the strengths and weaknesses of each comp, as said by Moobot. Now, I want to take a look at the bans real quick. We have Call Me Herm, who is banning for the side of Serpentis. He takes out Varus, Yorick, and Fiona. I agree with the first two bans. I may know a little bit more about the players on the side of Hail Hydra than Call Me Herm does. And I do think that the Yorick ban is not bad. If any team was going to kind of go with one of those AMAM strategies, especially considering how much PNG played well, how well PNG played with it in the last 2 weeks of the tournament series last season, the Yorick ban would be formidable here because we're looking for new stuff. We're looking for new tournament meta. Yorick would be a great first pick because people have seen it be successful so many times over the course of, so many months now with what is it, Wolf playing him over and over again. Over and 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 over again. Then on the side of Hail Hydra, but I must say that I don't agree with the Fiora ban. I don't think Fiora is the type of champion for this map, you guys. I really don't think that she's I don't think that she's going to end up coming out as some sort of big player on this map like a lot of the Juggernauts are now. She's not tanky enough. Her ultimate's not the same. The way her ultimate used to work, oh yeah, absolutely. Give her Mark Dash, she's going to be dominant for sure. But with their new kit, going to be a lot more difficult for her to get those positionings, in order to get that giant healing bonus off. Good work. I don't know. I want to see some teams make it work. This is a transitional meta for us right now, you guys. We have Juggernauts. We have the new Shield comp that we saw from PNG. Everything's kind of going wild right now. Now we look at the bans from Hail Hydra. That's Xerath, Vayne, and Janna taken away. Now Xerath, Vayne, Janna, I mean, these are the Vayne. It's another ban phase that I think looks really good. 4 out of the 6 bans. Xerath and Janna, great bans against Serpentis. We've seen Callie play it a bajillion times. Bions, he knew to ban that champion right as soon as he saw Callie in the lobby when we had the team captains going for their coin toss. He knew that was going to have to be a ban. He knew it. And that's his first one. He just drops it right away. But then the Vayne. The Vayne is interesting to me, you guys, because she is a tank buster, okay? She's a type of champion that can work as a counter pick in the meta if you're going up against a full, tanky squad with, say, 2 or 3 tanks on there. But she was banned here. If you don't want to play against Vayne and you want to use your ban for a better champion, all you really need to do is just not pick into a bunch of tanks. Now, potentially, Bion's, this being a new roster, is banning around his allies' champion pool. So he could be taking the Vayne away, knowing that Bandy is going to be tailored towards more tanky champions like Darius, more Juggernaut-oriented champions, and Killer Soldier is going to be playing things like Leona, where Vayne would actually fare pretty well, if you will. I mean, so they use that ban here, kind of a targeted ban, just to keep themselves safe. And I don't want to say a targeted ban, like a safety net ban, if you will, and thus allowing them to build this team composition without that absolute counter. Now, you got to keep in mind that when they did that, they lost some really good picks here. They gave up the Jinx. They gave up the Ziggs. The Ziggs, most specifically, was first picked on the side of Serpentis Esports by Call Me Herm. That's a huge pick right now, you guys. Whether or not I agree that Ziggs should be as good as he is right now, and whether or not I think, this is kind of like some insight as to what I think is going to happen this season, but whether or not I think that Ziggs is only, and all these poke compositions are only really good because they're much easier to be successful with than the other ones are, like the one that PNG played last week. You know, it takes a lot of coordination to play teams like that. You know, it's still top priority. Whether or not that is the case, whether or not he should or shouldn't be top priority, he is right now, and that's definitely worthy of a ban. And he's been getting a ton of play time in the past couple of weeks. So I think the Vayne ban absolutely should have been swapped out for a Ziggs. But you know what? You know, they got. It looks like Team Hail Hydra got the composition that they wanted. So I guess I can't really be complaining. That's all speculation on my part, of course. Of course. People really ban her because of her ult. They don't know you counter this new Fiora with poke. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is the case, though. I don't feel like she's going to be formidable. Now, imagine if the entire meta changes, okay? Imagine if everything changes and we're seeing a bunch of melee comps, a bunch of wombo combo comps, and the poke comps themselves fall off. Then maybe Fiora can come back into play. But I don't ever think that she's going to be a big top contender. I really don't. It's just, there's just too many people around. She's a duelist, okay? And you don't duel on this map. It just doesn't happen, you guys. Alright, let me get this whole thing, let me get this broadcast going and whatnot. This recording and all that good stuff. You guys know how it is. You guys know how it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Uh-oh. Oh, nice. I got the overlay. Woohoo! Alright, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Draft Labs ADAM Tournament Series Season 3, Week number 1, Game number 1. Serpentis Esports on the blue side. Hail Hydra on red. Serpentis, longtime players of this game, many high MMR members on their squad, good individual skill, most likely good synergy, but inexperienced in our meta. Whereas you look at the side of Hail Hydra, they have a lot of community favorites here. The Bare Bones Base God, the first community moderator, Bion's. You guys all know about Bion's. And then Killer Soldier, of course, was Bion's hand-selected player for his team as well. Kog'Maw also left open. Good call, Vexiv. Good call. Looks like Hail Hydra are going to be picking up the brush control. They don't get the knockup on the Callie, but Callie is able to get away. I'm really surprised that they got that little damage onto the Jinx in that situation. Bandicoot 007 not using the pull from Darius to isolate the Jinx. Very surprised, as a matter of fact. A lot of missed crowd control there. Callie basically going going solo versus all those. He was like Matrix. You just Neo'd all those skill shots. Basically, of course. Basically. Alright, let's check out our itemization starts here. We have what looks like to be a little bit of AP. I don't know, that's a weird start for a Malphite. I guess I don't really disagree with it. He doesn't have very many mana costs. He shouldn't really have problems with that. I also really like this skin too, this Malphite skin. You know, I don't have many problems with that, but I also don't think it's really going to build into anything. You know, he bought 2 different items. Instead of buying one big item, he bought 2 different items. And those 2 items don't really build into something much better than, I don't know, it's weird. You know, the build paths are awkward here. I'm not sure what those 2 items build into, but it's nothing that I'm familiar with. I expect that the mana regen, the magic resist, excuse me, item is going to be going towards an Aegis, and then the blasting wand more than likely going to be going towards like a Void Staff maybe, or something like that, or a Rod of Ages potentially. It's tough to say. It's tough to say at this point, but I can't say I love it, but I can't say I hate it either. We'll have to see how it goes later on. Some magic resist and a blue build. Some magic resist for Azir, a double Dorans for Jinx, and a blue build for our Ziggs. It looks like red team are going to be pushed in right off the bat. That's Hail Hydra. Bion's going to be throwing out as much poke as possible. Now, there isn't a crazy amount of poke on blue side right now. They do have more poke champions on their side, but there isn't an insane amount of poke. Right now, red team, they're definitely going to be on top in the skirmishes here as well. So they might get shoved in, but that's just going to make it that much more difficult for Malphite to engage later. So this still isn't a terrible time, or a terrible place rather, for red team to be. It's not a terrible time to be pushed into your tower either, because the enemy team doesn't have much damage. You know, their levels are still low. It's going to be tough for the side of Serpentis to really make big things happen with this composition early, but at least they have an advantage here. And, you know, some mistakes on the side of Hail Hydra could easily end up, you know, turning into a nice tower take or some extra siege time for the side of Serpentis. It looks like Serpentis are taking it slow right off the bat. No Magic Mantle and Blasting Wand built into Abyssal Scepter. Really? Really? I thought Abyssal Scepter took a Negatron Cloak. Really? Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I thought it took a Negatron Cloak. Oh, wait. Does a Negatron Cloak build out of the No Magic Mantle? You guys, I sound silly asking you guys these things on stream, but a lot of these things change, man. I haven't built a Abyssal Scepter in a long time, you guys. They changed it. Okay, so, you know, that was my first assumption, but then I saw that it wasn't a Negatron Cloak, and I thought to myself, you know, that can't be that. But this is good to know. Now, call me Herm. He will be building into that early Negatron Cloak. Or, excuse me, no, is it Negatron Abyssal Scepter? He will be building into that early Abyssal Scepter, which I do like on Malphite, especially for an engaged comp like this. Killer Soldier. Locked down and caught. Takes lots of damage, but thank goodness. That is a... Oh, my God, you guys. There's some crazy thunder outside. I hope my power doesn't go out. God, that would suck. That would really, really suck. It's Leona, so she should be able to sustain this back up and be fairly healthy here. Now, what we're not seeing on the side of red side, on the side of Hail Hydra right now, nice damage from X, really nice. He will get punished, though. So, what we're not seeing from the side of Hail Hydra right now is coordination between their skills, you guys. They really got to get their skills, you know, get that coordination between their players and get those mini waves cleared out effectively. And with with as much gold going towards their team as possible. Even if you're getting shoved into your tower constantly, you still have the ability with 4 champions to pick up all 6 or 7 of the CS that's being shoved into you. And one of the teams that we see that does that best is PNG Omega Pulsar. That's why they were able to win that game on Saturday with that composition, because they kept their gold up while still clearing out the waves while being shoved underneath their tower. Right now, it seems as though on the side of Hail Hydra that everybody's kind of scrounging for CS. Not that they're not like fighting over it or anything, but you know, like you would see with ARAM-itis. They don't have ARAM-itis right now, but they're definitely kind of scrounging for the CS. You know, nothing is as coordinated as it should be. Oh no! Moobot just banned Aliens Are Watching. Anyway, he wasn't supposed to do that. Nice ultimate from Project. Sorry, Aliens. First blood goes to X-Redeemer. Oh no. Oh no. Nice ultimate from X-Redeemer, you guys. Well placed. Now, that's kind of like an anti-engage ultimate, you guys. You know, that's what Vel'Koz's all about. I've always considered him to be that counter-engager, anti-engager, but he anti-engages with his own engage, which is kind of wild, you know, which is his own AoE big spell. He's not just mobility-based. It's you put down a field of damage where the enemy team will not be able to engage you without taking guaranteed damage. You give them a choice. They're already taking damage. They're gonna take some no matter what. Do they back off and take less, or do they engage and take more? That's the question. And that's a really nice use there by X-Redeemer. He also gets himself first blood as well, which is excellent. Bandicoot, that's aggressive play, but gets knocked back into the team. Ends up getting an execution. Potentially was all calculated there. Nice work. Double kill for Callie, as a matter of fact. Finds X-Redeemer in the bottleneck with an ultimate. It looks like Serpentis want to turn up the heat. Oh my god. Moobot, you're taking things too far. Don't you dare ban Aliens Are Watching. I probably need to make it so Moobot doesn't just come in and do things like that. But you know what? I never would have known it would have happened unless you had excessively used symbols. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be terrified of Moobot now. Here comes the engage from Killer Soldier. No! Next. Oh god. Moobot, what have you done? We saw oh no. We just saw an attempted engage from Killer Soldier. You guys are distracting me from this game. He doesn't like hashtag, huh? Interesting. Nice ultimate there. Extra Deemer popped his own, but got punished fairly hard there. We're looking at almost 8 minutes into this match now, you guys, and barely any damage dealt to the tower on the side of Hail Hydra. 2-1 now in kills and a 1,000 gold lead in favor of Serpentis. Now, we are looking at the level 9 power spikes coming up soon, so the faux poke comp, kind of wombo combo style, good AoE on the side of Serpentis. They're going to be hitting that nice power spike at level 9 here. Now, this is something you don't see too often, you guys. Ooh, Bandy, she wants to start a fight. There goes Call Me Herm. He's got the damages. Extra Deemer falls right at the bat. Bions trying to get himself a solo kill. Killer Soldier's back peeling. Call Me Herm goes down. Bandicoot is so healthy. One reset for Bandy. We're looking at more coming up. Might find a second here. It's still so healthy. Bions needs to get a little bit of damage off. Bandy just pops the ultimate. Bions follows up. Actually, he goes to the Bandy on the bleed. And that's going to be a 3-for-2 trade in the favor of Hail Hydra. This Darius is pulling some serious moves, you guys, as he has been for quite some time here in our meta. Actually, for the past week and a half, we've seen a lot of great Darius play. Vions, he just wants to get Bandy something. Flash forward from Bandy. Does not find it. Now going to have to hit down this tower, but he's going to go in for the execution, it seems. No ultimate available. Kill is actually given to Call Me a Herm, surprisingly enough. Woo! Extra Deemer, that was close. Turn that thing off. I now hate new Moobot. I'm sorry. How am I supposed to know? This is his first day. It's his first day on the job, you guys. Be nice to Moobot. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Fear the Moo God. Don't be afraid of him. Just don't use hashtags. Fear the Moo God. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, it might not be a terrible thing for everybody to be terrified of Moobot. It's nice. Fear is a great tool when trying to motivate people, if you know what I mean. I'm just kidding, you guys. I promise I'll get that fixed up. I'm still new to it myself. Now, we've seen a little bit of a song and dance here from both teams. Just nobody really trading out. They're going to be trading a couple of poke spells back and forth. You can see Serpentis, they're creating a lot of space in between the enemy team. This is just about the smartest thing at this point. Bandicoot hasn't been using the Mark Dash too often, but Bandicoot does have it on this Darius, and that's a really, really scary thing. There's the dash. Woo! Or there's the Mark, rather. Project in danger. Bandy was going to go for it potentially. Call Me Herm goes right back in. He's pulled in. Dr. Phil gets the ultimate off. There's no Yasuo here today, but you know what? The Wombo combo still drops. Great damage from Extra Deemer. Turns things around. The only person to fall was, in fact, Bions here, but Dr. Phil went down as well. Only person to fall for the side of Hail Hydra was Bions. 3 members on each team still standing. Dr. Phil made a very, very deep engage there, and Extra Deemer basically held on to his ultimate for just as long as he needed to. He didn't take the aggression. They pulled every single spell they had on Bions, where that left Extra Deemer healthy, left him able to get a full duration ultimate on. That's a ton of damage, you guys. Tons of damage. I could tell that Minami, excuse me, it looked like an H from here. Minami really loves the cow emotes. Meho, I have a question for you. I'm not sure if it's Meho or Maho, but you're gonna have to help me out with the pronunciation here. But are you a subscriber to a certain streamer by the name of Cowsep? I enjoy Cowsep's stream, so it's nice to know that you are supporting Cowsep. I was never able to do it myself because I think he's a little bit too vulgar. But I wouldn't support him monetarily because I do think he's a little bit too vulgar. But I do enjoy watching his stream. He has one of the most advanced streams on Twitch. A lot of people don't realize that. He has one of the most advanced streams on Twitch. A lot of really cool new things that he's brought for the standard streamer. He could sell a lot of his applications too, to be honest with you, if he needed to. Anyway, another kill going over to Bions, he just picks on up with his Q. You can see he's already built into his blue build here. Callie taking low, Callie taking... Whoa! Where did Jinx go, you guys? The knockups are real. Jinx flow real high there. Now Dr. Phil forced out of his barrier. Oh my god. Where did Bink go? Yes, I'm subbed to Calcep. I don't watch him though. I just sub for the icons. Yeah, the icons are awesome. He does have really, really good icons. Really, really good icons. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he has one of the most advanced streams out there. He has a professional graphic designer designing all of his overlays. They're constantly changing. Every time I watch him, he's got a new set of overlays. Everything's brand new. Here comes Bandy again, you guys. The tower dive, if I ever seen one. Pops the ultimate on the wrong enemy champion. Is dropped by the Jinx ultimate from downtown. Killer Soldier continuing the dive. So much tankiness on the side of Hail Hydra. Call Me Herm unable to continue that aggression to Bions. Now Killer Soldier gets stays alive, even through the tower dive. Double tower dive it was at one point. And Bions capitalizes with a Q from the gate. Picks himself up another kill. 3 for 2 in the favor of Hail Hydra. And they've turned things around. They've got themselves a gold lead and a kill lead at this point. Callie looking for some sort of kill here. I'm not sure if it's going to be found. It is. Perfect swap to the minigun form. Now Killer Soldier is in danger. Double kill and cleanup duty for Callie. 6, 2, and 4 now on his Jinx. Beautiful. Where did the Jinx go, you guys? It looks like Gross Pigeon back early modern meta with his freaking Rammus. Freaking Rammus glitch. Flash forced out of Callie. Nice ultimate from Extra Deemer. Didn't quite swap up the aim there fast enough. Uh-oh, he's in danger now. Potentially a little bit too far forward. Nice pickup here for the Vel'Koz, man. When you see an early Malphite pickup, you know, Vel'Koz is just about one of the best champions you can take. Now, he is susceptible. As long as he's playing safe until after the engage, then he should be okay. Now, like I said, he is really easy to engage, but that means that the enemy team is going to have to focus him if they want to engage upon him. And it might not be the most worth. I mean, you're really going to let Bions continue with his blue build? Or are you going, you know, there's two threats on the side of Hail Hydra right now. You either, and this is where, you know, pertaining to Call Me Herm on his Malphite. There's two threats that you really need to target on this Malphite. You're either going for Extra Deemer, who, mind you guys, I've just noticed is actually a really big champion, Vel'Koz. He's kind of huge. And then you look at Malphite and he looks really small. That's the thing about old champions nowadays, you guys. They're all a lot smaller than the new ones. Leona is scaled fairly well. Jace is scaled fairly well. I think Ziggs is good. Jinx is good, because they're all more new champions. Malphite, the dude's supposed to be like a rock thing, but he's like a tiny rock thing. Not even like as big as a man. You know, he's supposed to be like a mountain here. That's weird, man. You know, I don't understand that. Same goes for Mordekaiser. You guys ever seen Mordekaiser and like compared his size to some of the other champions? He's like a tiny man in a huge set of armor that still isn't even that big. And everybody thinks his mace is giant just because in proportion to his body it's big. That's not the case. His mace is like as big as Jinx's minigun. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, I was saying, Call Me Herm, two targets, either Bions or Extra Deemer. He engages Bions, gets ulted. His whole team gets ulted by Extra Deemer as they try to follow up onto his engage. He ults Extra Deemer, they negate that kind of big counter-engaging ultimate from the Vel'Koz, but then you leave Bions healthy and he's going to be able to jump on whoever he wants. Then you have the idea of peeling Bandicoot. I don't expect that she's a target for the Malphite, but I do expect that this Darius needs to be dealt with somehow, and who is going to be peeling? Who's going to be peeling for the Jinx? Who's going to be peeling for the Ziggs when Bandicoot hits that really nice mark dash? It's tough to say, man. Really tough to say. There's threats on all sides from Hail Hydra right now. And I tell you what, the power spikes for Serpentis Esports are wearing thin here, you guys. Post 15 poke composition is not going to contend very well against a, you know, tanky skirmish squad like what we're seeing on red side. Tarek is shorter than Vayne. There you go. What's going on here, Riot? And look at how giant Vel'Koz is. Like, you know, it's appropriate, but not when you compare him to the size of Malphite. You know, you think, like, if you look at Vel'Koz next to Jace, all right, cool, yeah, he's that big, that's all right. You know, he's a tentacle monster thing. That's cool, he can be big, all right, that's fine. He's a monster. But then you look at Malphite and you're like, dude, this guy's supposed to be a freaking mountain, and he's tiny. Tiny. Look at, I mean, Ziggs is almost as big. Ziggs is almost, excuse me, as tall as Malphite. Vanilla champs didn't get paid well, so they are malnourished. Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. All right, you guys, so you might recognize what's going on in the game right now from what we saw last week, okay? So we had CIE versus PNG Omega Pulsar. And PNG Omega Pulsar were in fact playing this style of composition, the skirmishing comp. It wasn't like a heavy engage composition, but they did have a little bits of engage, you know, across the board, and they had a Darius. They had a Juggernaut, that big carry for the team, the guy who can jump in 1v4 anytime. And the entire match, it was just like this dance. Both teams respecting the space, giving the enemy team enough room to, you know, keep themselves safe while also kind of trying to get an engage in every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, they're right now, Serpentis, they want the space for the poke, and then they also want the space to keep themselves safe from Bandy on the Darius. And then you can see that every once in a while, every couple of seconds, Hail Hydra, they're moving forward. They're looking for an engage. Bandy throws out the one mark dash that might be the one to get the fight started. They're kind of pushing their way in. It's like a battle of pressure here. It's really interesting the way that this is playing out. I like this. I do. When I think of the long term, the long term effects of play styles like this, I think that this could definitely be very positive because I like those dances. I like the respect that's being shown. We are going to see the engage. Bandicoot goes in. And it wasn't really even Bandicoot that goes in. Call me Herm. A late ultimate. They want to focus down Bandy. Flash is forced. Now Killer Soldier is left no. But you know what? Bions has an answer for this. He got burst damage out the wazoo. Takes down the Malphite with no one from Hail Hydra falling. And now with one down from the side of Serpentis, we should see a lot of aggression coming out from Hail Hydra. Now, it's tough to say whether or not they're going to make a dive here. Their health bars are fairly low, and they still are going up against a poke comp. But if they are going to do that, they better do it fast, because their health bars are only going to get lower and lower going up against this poke composition from Serpentis. Sorry, Vex. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry, man. Beware the Moobot. Beware the Moobot. Moogod is worse than autocorrect. No, he's not. He doesn't know you guys. Be nice. Be nice to Moobot. He's here to stay. If you guys start hating on him the first day he's here, he's not going to feel welcome, okay? He's welcome. I have somebody on the case who will be making up for Moobot's indiscretions. Alright, so if you see that you end up getting banned or something like that for putting in hashtags, I guarantee you Moobot will be fixed. But, you know, just sit tight and you'll make it back in, I promise. The Moogod. Don't be afraid. The Moogod. He is under control now. Darius Quad was last week as well. Exposures, it wasn't just a Darius Quad. It was 2 Darius Quads exposures. It was the Darius Quad before 8 minutes in the first match between CIE and PNG, and then it was a Darius Quad by the same player on the same champion in the next match before 9 minutes. So 2 pre-10-minute quadra kills made by Avernus on the Darius. Man, it was insane. It was insane. Bandicoot gets a nice pull on to Call Me Herm. Might be giving him some sort of in onto an engage here. Looks like that is the case. He gets 2 knockups, but it doesn't seem as though his damage is quite high enough. Nice shield. Great shield from Killer Soldier. Now they're going to be disengaged, but Bandicoot is running the show here. So many resets. Oh no, the Mark Dash. Oh no, so many resets available for Bandicoot, but you know what? They're not going to happen this time. I believe the ultimate was already used. Killer Soldier continues the engage, but goes down to Cali. Oh no! Levexiv. Oh no! Moobot. Bad Moobot. Bad Moobot. Bions, nice cleanup duty here. Keeps himself safe. Back lines. As of right now, there isn't enough armor having been built on the Malphite, and he can't really deal with the build that's dropping by Bions and the burst damage from him. So, as of right now, the Malphite, give him a couple of minutes, and he will get fairly tanky. Nice shot from Bions. Secures one in the project. Whip effects. Double kill for Bions. This guy's looking for cleanup duty. He might go down. That is the case. Dr. Phil has the attacks to be required. Cleans up, but you know what? Bions just picked himself another couple of kills. Some gold. Now he's sitting on 1,700. As of right now, Bions is the most valuable champion on the map. 10,000 gold to his name. So far, of course. What did he buy? Finish up a Bloodthirster, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, he just bought a... Where did he get, interesting. How did he get a Bloodthirster finished up? And then another BF sword? Did he already have the Bloodthirster? No. How did he finish the Bloodthirster? He only had 1,700. How did he finish up the Bloodthirster and have another BF sword at the same time? Interesting. I'm gonna have to watch this later and see what's going down. Go style Foxy. Yes, yes, yes. Now 22 minutes in, ladies and gents. And back to the same old song and dance, you guys. Neither team has taken down a single turret here. Now, who's at fault for this? You know, why have we seen such a slow-paced early game? I'm going to tell you right now that I believe if either of these two teams were one of our more experienced teams here, you know, one of the teams that knows how to close out a game, it definitely would not have gone this long, at least without having taken down a tower. But as of right now, both these teams are getting the feel for the tournament series. Hail Hydra, brand new team, whereas Serpentis Esports, brand new to our meta. You know, they just don't have that closing potential. They're not necessarily timing their executions properly. They're not winning the team fights outright enough. What I can tell you, though, is that I don't believe that Hail Hydra are making enough engages. Bandicoot really needs to go all out with this Darius. She has been absolutely dominating this match so far, able to basically 1v3 the backlines of Serpentis. If Bandicoot simply makes the aggression, goes into those backlines, it's going to make sure that you're not giving Callie enough time to get those items that are required to basically just burst you down right away. It seems as though Serpentis are waiting for Hail Hydra to make an engage, and Hail Hydra are waiting for Serpentis to make an engage. Somebody's got to do it. And when you're in a situation like this where teams are dancing and, you know, neither of them really wants to make a play, you have to surprise them with a champion, making a play on a champion that they wouldn't have expected. Maybe with a Malphite here, make an engage with the Azir, because the Azir engage isn't going to be seen coming. Uh-oh, Call Me Hermes pulled in. There's a smooth disengage from Serpentis, and they back off. Oh my god, you guys. There's just so many spells being thrown here, but neither team wants to make any sort of commitment. I'm surprised, and that's definitely going to be the biggest difference that you're going to see over the next few weeks with all these new teams. There it is, Killer Soldier finds Project. Beautiful little combo there. Project does get out alive. Extra Team are engaged on by Call Me Herm, but you know what? Call Me Herm is donezo's, you guys. Now Killer Soldier and Bandicoot trying to take on the remaining members of this team. Bandy heals up a lot, trying to make the tower die, but does not survive it. Another team fight, going 2 for 1 this time in favor of SES. Nice kill, X-Redeemer. Dr. Phil, most likely just looking for an execution here. Knew it was time. The death timers are getting long, you guys. 24 minutes in. This game has been... pressure has filled into this game until it's at bursting point, you guys. I mean, if this game was a soda, it's one of those soda that looks all deformed because you dropped it and like got all pressure inside and like, you know, is about to bust out of its seams. One more team fight that doesn't go as evenly as these last few have. We're looking at one more successful engage from Malphite, you know, it leading to a nice multi-kill for Serpentis. One more great counter engage from Hail Hydra that leads to a multi-kill for them. And we're looking at 2 towers, maybe even 2 towers and an inhibitor down. Whichever team wins outright the next team fight, you know, we're talking by large scale wins, not like 1 for 1 or 2 for 2. The next team that does that is going to be looking at basically enough of an advantage to win themselves the game. It's an interesting one, you guys. 26 minutes in. You don't see this very often. Call Me Herm. He's very far forward, but he's taking lots of damage. What is it called? True damage from Vel'Koz is actually very important at this point in the match as well. Quite important. 26 minutes in. No towers taken down. This might be one of the longest matches we will ever see, you guys. This may end up being one of the longest matches of all time. But these teams are definitely duking it out here. But they're duking it out with, like, this is like the Cold War, you guys. One of them is saying, like, oh, yeah, well, my Darius is fed. Oh, yeah, well, I have a late-game Malphite. Oh, yeah, well, my Jinx is 8-4-7. She just finished her Infinity Edge. Oh, yeah, well, my Leona is rank 5 in all her spells now. My Leona is now level 18. Oh, yeah, well, my Jace has finished up his Mora mana. You know, they're both just, like, arguing with each other, but neither of them, you know, I don't want to talk badly about these two teams. I'm just making jokes here, of course, but, you know, there's just no commitment. No commitment for either of these two teams right now. I'll tell you what, though, you know, which team does the late game scaling favor? We have the Blue Jace, which is all about that late game, you guys, all about that late game. You have the Darius, who absolutely is going to become a monster as the game goes on. Then you have You know, Vel'Koz and Leona, less, okay? Less. They're not late game scalers. I do not consider them to be. But you know what? The more the game goes on, the tankier and tankier and tankier Leona gets. She's just going to be able to make those tower dives, and that's what the teams need at this point. These teams are going to need tower dives, and it seems as though that's what it's going to come down to, because neither team really wants to start a team fight in the middle of the map. Then you have on Serpentis' side, they have some great scaling champions, Azir and Jinx. I mean, better, in my opinion, than both the scalers on the side of Red Team. Bandy, she's looking for an engage here, but great peel from the side of Serpentis. Now, Bandy takes a lot of damage, but here comes an engage from Killer Soldier. Bandy is dropped by the ultimate from Kali. That's one kill. Can they continue to follow up here? I'm not sure. They're taking too much damage. And another trade that goes just about even, but all the damage from the side of Serpentis went on to one champion. Uh-oh, Mark Dash from Call Me Herm. He does have his ultimate available, drops it, Extra Redeemer goes down. Killer Soldier jumping in the backlines, gets locked underneath the tower, dropped now. 1 for 3 so far in Serpentis' favor. Bionz wants to make the plays. He's looking for a 1 versus 3. He is now slowed. Will he make it underneath this tower? Massive damage from Kali. They're trying to find more. Bionz has his flash, but that is going to be the first tower down of the game for Serpentis to come out on top. Great engage. Bionz wants to make another big play, but doesn't quite have it available. Kali with a nice flash, and just like that, that's the multi-kill I was talking about, you guys. You get more than 1 kill with more than 1 person on your team available. You know, you could say more than 2 kills with 3 people on your team available, and you will be able to take down 2 towers. I mean, that's a lot, considering it was just 1 team fight win going 3 for 1. Bandicoot, clean up duty, if I ever seen it. Nice slow, great pull, beautiful combo into the double kill. That's exactly how it should have been played. I'm very impressed. Very impressed with Bandicoot 007. That was beautiful. And I mean, that looked like there was no nerves or anything at all. This is Bandicoot 007's very first match in the Draft Labs ADAM tournament series. Bandy used to just be a spectator. Now Bandy is in the tournament series, man, and playing extremely well. Call Me Herm. That's a good ultimate from Extra Redeemer. Just force that dude off, man. Just get him out of here. You got good damage onto him. There's members of the enemy team that are still down. You might be able to counter push this for 2 towers. Maybe. At least getting 1 down and shoving the game into the enemy side. Nice Mark Dash from Bandy. Knows there's no flash available on Kali's side. Ultimate still available for Bandy, you guys. Are we going to see another reset? Drop it. Hit the ultimate up. Double kill now for Extra Redeemer. They make the dive. That's exactly what we wanted this entire time from Hail Hydra. And now they've got death timers from Serpentis on stutter. This could win them the game. They need to continue this series of dives, continue making Mark Dashes, continue jumping onto Dr. Phil and Project, who are the only 2 left available. If you can kill them and consider and guarantee that until the end of the game you're at a 2 versus 4 advantage, then it could be a big play. But you know what? They lose the Darius. That's a lot of their there's a lot of their team fighting and tower diving potential there. So not sure how much they're gonna find. I have to say, nice Mark Dash there from, I believe it was from Killer Soldier. They're not gonna find too much with that. I love playing CLGEU games. I think he's saying that because does CLGEU hold like the longest game time duration or something like that? That must be the case. I'm not familiar with it, but that must be the case. All right, you guys, peep the builds. An Essence Reaver on the side of Siren. So let's look at the main damage dealers here. Fairly standard build coming out from Extra Redeemer. I mean, this game's already past 30 minutes, so building into a lately Andrews is not a terrible idea. You're going to have the low cooldowns. You know, the enemy team is getting tanky. Not a terrible thing to do. Definitely not. Plus, this has been such a crazy poke battle the whole time that, you know, that little bit of extra damage is going to go a long way. Nice Mark Dash from Bandy. Gets the point of Dr. Phil. Finds the ultimate. Finds the reset. 1 kill for Hail Hydra, potentially more. The bleed, that's a double kill for Bandy. Trying to find more, is taking tower damage, does go down to Kali, but you know what? That's already 3 members of Serpentis dead, and only 2 towers left to go before the game is over on the side of Hail Hydra. 37 seconds left on Call Me Herm's death timer, 24 on Dr. Phil. Plenty of time to win this game. Beautiful stun into the chain onto Kali. The Q from Bionz doesn't hit. Kali might survive this. That will not be the case. The ace for Hail Hydra, and it looks like they will be the victors of our first match of Season 3. Well played, Hail Hydra. They took this one 32 minutes. I thought it was going to be the longest one ever, but not quite. GG. They really turned up the heat. They finally got to a point where they said, you know what? Why have we been dilly-dallying for so long? Why have we been doing this? Let's, it seems like they got impatient. And that's almost exactly what needed to happen for them. They said, you know what? Screw it, guys. We're diving. We're diving, man. Screw it. I don't like dancing around like this. Let's do it. Let's go in. Let's get underneath their tower. I don't care how much damage we're taking. Let's get a couple of kills. Let's see what we can do. Because how much do we have to lose, man? We know we're going to get kills. We got Darius. We know we're going to get something. But, let's just see what we can do with this. And it was successful. It seems as though the impatience there ended up winning them that game. I guess that's what I would assume, at least my educated opinion, if you will. GG, congratulations to Hail Hydra. A very well played first match, you guys. There you go, 1-up on Serpentis Esports.